Hi, in this first and quick tutorial, I'm just going to cover some basic SketchUp understanding. So the first couple of things to know and understand about SketchUp is that many people use faces. They are just these simple planes, and by doing so, they feel like they've kind of got an object. So in this, you might feel as though you've got some walls and there's a floor. But what you need to know about SketchUp is that unlike other CAD modeling programs, everything is actually hollow. This is a cube, it looks solid. Although it looks solid, there is a hollow interior. Despite that, these here on the right hand side are still incorrect until they have a given thickness. So, like everything in the world, if we look at a block of wood, for example, it is a solid block. There's a thickness to this material. And because students like to be designing houses in the first instance, I find here's an example of actually the inner structure of a wall where it's made of various bits of timber, which again are actually rectangles and have and display a thickness. Even all the other components to the wall, if we look around, there's many more materials there that support and make up a wall of any type, and they're all made of materials that again have a thickness. So in SketchUp, that's the first thing that you have to be aware is that you need to be modeling things. Every face or every surface you create has to be given a thickness. So here I've demonstrated further along with 3 variations of this that are correct. So here, instead of just the basic few sides, we've actually made the floor and I've extruded it using the push-pull tool. So the push-pull is really crucial in making and giving and assigning that thickness rather than making simple faces. Further along here, I've got the same box again, copied and pasted. I've used the offset tool and I've pushed down the inside, hence giving it a likeness of walls and an inside floor. And then further along here, depending on what material you're modeling, this is another version of it also. And we can see and inspect that actually there's a separate floor and there are 4 separate sides. I have grouped them all, meaning I can move and adjust them. Once you learn the shortcut keys and you're making yourself use the hotkeys, you don't have to come over to the left-hand side so much, and you actually reduce your working time a lot. This I made once, I made a copy of it here. This I made once, I made a copy over here. So all the tools you're going to learn in this SketchUp gym will help you to model more efficiently and quicker and faster. So that's just that first thing to note. Beyond that, because these are all separate pieces, we can begin doing things like turning parts on and off to help us get inside, to help us see what's going on, similar to Photoshop or Illustrator or other CAD modeling layers. And also then we're cutting sections or 2D drawings. These are going to show up a better likeness to the walls of a house than perhaps this ever would. So the other thing to note is that anything that is grey and appears grey in SketchUp is actually the wrong side. So that's inside out. The white faces, the reason these are all white is that they are all right side out. There's nothing wrong with them. So it's always a good indicator that something's not quite right. The geometry is not quite right in your model if you're seeing a grey face. So with having said that, the very first thing I do want to show you is actually how to create faces and force them in a particular direction. So I'll just go ahead and I'll make this box here the way I made it initially. So we'll just engage the R tool, R for rectangle, click once, let go, and click somewhere else in the opposite direction. Engage P tool for push-pull, click once, let go. Clicking once and letting go is a really good habit to get into for the following tutorials. Don't click and hold, just click once and slide up. Here we're going to select by dragging over or clicking 3 times, and we're instantly going to group it. So again, just good habits of grouping, which we cover in the following tutorials. Now, forcing things on a particular axis, we are going to just learn to do that in this tutorial. So again, rectangle tool, and on this corner, we're going to use arrow keys up, left, and right, and just see what they do. I want to create a wall along the back, so I am looking for that green direction. Click up, along touch down here, and by touching here, it knows that that's as far as I want it to go, and up and stop. So using arrow keys is a new learning here. That's a way of forcing something up in a particular direction. So with that done, we'll engage P for push-pull, drag it out here a distance, spacebar, 1, 2, 3, right-click, make group, and that is really all as far as I'm going to go. We'll do one more wall perhaps. Click, use your arrow tools. We want it on that red axis. Come along, touch here, and move up here and here. Right, so by me touching both this point and that point and then coming along, it's getting a little bit obstructed by that drawing in the background, which is a bit annoying. By doing that, though, it is knowing that we're only going to go that far in that distance. I'm just going to stop there. It was getting really obstructed by that drawing in the background, and push-pull, spacebar, 3 clicks, and make group. And there you have it. That is how to make kind of, I guess, walls up in a particular direction by using arrow keys, and also just a little bit of understanding before you move on that this type of modelling here is actually not modelling at all and will cause a lot of issues down the road. So best to always be getting used to solid modelling and also getting used to these hotkeys.